Good morning. Well, evening. I'm going to put this up right now. And welcome to, uh, where were we? Beware. No, 30-minute reviews. I am Adam. Sorry, I'm bulk recording a bunch of stuff that that I didn't do over the last few days because I was sick. So right now we're on, our new episode about, we're continuing our quest through, what's that show called? Um, fuck. Mission Impossible. That's it. I'm very tired. It's been a very long week to a degree that, I'm not entirely up to talking about. If you want to help out, though, you can go to co-fi.com slash MWP News and you can donate there. We have donation goals to help us out with things. To get us to do cool things. We're going to start having sample episodes going up on YouTube and on these feeds in the next few weeks. I think I could talk about it here because I know for certain what we're going to be doing here. We're going to we're going to bring back the television one we did, which was Tales from the Couch, I think it was called, or something like that. I forgot what it was called. Was that also the Backlog Files? Was it all the same branding? I don't remember. We're going to be bringing that back, though. And we're going to do 4 episodes, and we're going to start out talking about a TV show. And I figured a good place to do this would be to start out with something that I enjoy leisure watching. And we're going to start with Arrow. Now, we're only going to do 4 episodes to start with. Well, we'll do 5 because it's a podcast, and I can do that quicker. It's not like the YouTube stuff where it's a finite amount. This we're going to do 5. Or we'll have to do the whole first season. We'll see. And if people continue, if people like it, we'll continue. But either way, the point is, to make it happen definitively, for as long as it's going, you can go to co-fi.com and slash MWP News, and you can donate money. If we hit $100 in a month, we will continue with it in small donations, and you can do that on there, and that will fund us doing cool things. The full thing will go up on the site, and I'll have an explainer on there, and we'll also have an explainer on mwpnews.com. But it is what it is. Point is, if you want to hear the full thing, you can go back and listen to the roadmap episode. But the point is, what we're here to talk about today is Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, the 4th Mission Impossible movie. This one came out. Was this the one directed by J.J. Abrams? I think so. Was it? I don't remember. Either way, I think this is the point where the franchise kind of reestablishes itself, and I think that's kind of an important thing because Mission Impossible 1 is a perfectly solid action movie. It is serviceable. It is perfectly okay. It does exactly what it needs to do. Small stakes. It is what it is. Mission Impossible 2 starts as kind of backward skid, where it's like, I don't think that movie is that good. Mission Impossible 3, it falls off a cliff, and they completely waste Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is a crime against humanity. Then we get to 4. And now we've kind of hit our stride a little bit. Or at least we are getting into position to hit our stride going forward. We still have Rogue Nation, Fallout, and Dead Reckoning. Now, what this does is it gives us this point where we can say definitively, okay, we are going to change what this show is, or this movie is, kind of fundamentally. From here on out, we are going big. These are going to be moments of, this is going to be a series about high stakes, high action, incredibly dangerous stunts, and we're going to see how close we can bring Tom Cruise to death without actually killing him. And that's what this franchise is about. Because here we have him climbing the Burj Khalifa in a really cool set piece. The action is good. The plot is concise and it makes sense. And again, it's big stakes. You have nuclear war and all of that, but it's oddly grounded. And you can track it the entire way through, which is a big thing, because I don't remember what the plot of Mission Impossible 3 is, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they never actually define what it is they're going after or why anyone wants it. Because the key with a MacGuffin is a MacGuffin doesn't need to be named, a MacGuffin doesn't need to be defined, it doesn't need to be concrete. It's just, you need to know what the repercussion is of it getting out. Because, like, let's look at, let's go to Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a MacGuffin plot. You have this thing where it's like, okay, everyone wants to get the orb. Everyone wants to get the orb. What does the orb do? It blows shit up. And it's a weapon where if Ronan gets his hands on it, he'll use it to decimate Xandar. We know what the orb is and how dangerous it is. The fact that it's an Infinity Stone, what's an Infinity Stone? Who cares? Not important. We don't need to know the specifics. We just need to know what it is and why it's dangerous when it gets to the other person into the other person's hands. They keep ambiguously calling it something, but that doesn't define it to the point that the viewer knows, okay, so we need to make sure that this is definitely a risk if it gets out. And that's a fundamental problem with that movie. Ghost Protocol, like, okay, they fuck up. Kremlin gets blown up. At the time the movie came out, that was probably something that was received a little bit better, a little bit differently, where it's like, that's something that's actually, never mind, we'll stay off that topic before I end up in an El Salvadorian prison. But with the other dissidents, but the point is, like, that whole thing goes on, and then it's like, all right, IMF is now disavowed entirely. The entirety of IMF is disavowed, and you guys are on your own to figure out what happened here. I'm not super on board with Jeremy Renner in this movie, and I feel like that's just a thing that I have towards Jeremy Renner at this point, where it's like, he shows up places and I'm not entirely thrilled he's there. He doesn't add a ton to the proceedings, and I don't think that we necessarily needed him there. But the rest of the team has kind of found its flow. Like, Ving Rhames isn't in the movie, but we see him at the end, and but the relationship with Benji has been established, and now Benji's going to be this recurring character who shows up over and over again. And I think that that's what works about this franchise. We have the core team. Ethan cares about his team. That's the most important thing. So that's where, this kind of leaves off. And it sets this kind of standard for what these movies will be going forward in a way that you typically see from a TV pilot, if I'm being honest. It feels like a TV pilot, kind of. The idea that we need to establish what the tone's going to be, establish where we're going, and what this show is designed to be, and how it's going to continually grow from there. I enjoyed it, though. I think this is probably, of the four we've seen in this series, because I do think that both Fallout and Dead Reckoning are better than than any movie we've seen so far. This is, just going off of these four, this is the best of them. Because it has found the formula that works, and it will work for them going forward as they expand on it and try it in different ways. Because that's the thing is, you can't just have a formula and do your best to stick with the formula. You need to, change it up every time. Which is how things get stale because they don't shake things up. You don't change things. You have to change things. And I think that we'll see, as Mission Impossible evolves, we will see they take steps to change things and shake things up. Which is what we'll be seeing in the near future as we get into Rogue Nation next week. But we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode will be Mission Impossible Rogue Nation next week. And then after that, we'll be doing Fallout. And then Dead Reckoning, and then we'll be talking about the final Reckoning on Beware of Spoilers. We will also have a few other episodes in there. We have on the schedule Lilo and Stitch and Karate Kid. But until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.